I am not a medical professional. Always speak with your healthcare professionals before making any changes to medications and etc. Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another video by Alexander Zed. Camera's looking a little crooked here. Whatever, I think it's all right. So, this is not a scripted video. I'm just sharing with you guys my story, how I overcame severe ADHD, well, at least the diagnosis of severe ADHD, naturally. I don't take any medications of any kind, and I feel great. And I can honestly focus now better than the average person who doesn't have ADHD or, was never diagnosed per se. And I'm just going to briefly kind of tell you guys my story and what I did. So when I was younger, I was told pretty often, man, you must be ADHD, because I was pretty hyperactive. I was a kind of a go-getter and kind of loud, rambunctious. And I didn't ever think anything of it. I was like, whatever, it's just stupid. And when I was about 23 years old, 23, 24, I had some adult mentors. People, I was at 24, I was an adult, but people who were older than me, my seniors, who were thinking, that maybe I have some ADHD. And so they talked me into taking an ADHD test. And sure enough, they came back with severe ADHD results. And I was like, dang, okay. So I didn't like the idea. I didn't think there was anything wrong with me. But I thought, you know what? I'll humble myself and I will take the medications that they're going to prescribe me and just take it from there. So they put me on Adderall. And man, that stuff jacked me up. Adderall has such nasty side effects for me. I was already pretty slender at the time, but on the Adderall, I lost a lot more weight. And when I first took the Adderall, I will say it was a positive experience when I very first took it, because I was able to focus really strong. And I remember never being able to focus like that before. It really brought me into the zone. And so that was nice. But shortly thereafter, I started having all these negative side effects. I didn't like it. And condensing my story here, I'm not going to go into huge detail. I decided to try different things because I was like, this Adderall is too strong. So they put me on Vyvanse, which is like an extended release Adderall. Then they tried me on Ritalin, and they had me on a mood stabilizer too, because not too long after my ADHD diagnosis, they also diagnosed me with cyclothymia, which is a form of bipolar. It's a bit different though. It's an interesting thing. Go look it up if you want to. But I just didn't like all these meds. I didn't like the mood stabilizers. I didn't like the drugs they were putting me on. And one day, I was at my parents' house. That's where I was living at the time. My mom was in the kitchen, if I recall, and I had the medications in my hand. I remember going, you know what my problem is, Mom? She's like, what? And I was like, everybody telling me that I have a problem. And I threw the meds in the trash, and I was like, I'm sick of this. I'm not taking any more meds. She was just like, you can't just stop cold turkey. You've got to wean off of them. And I was like, screw it. Watch me. And I remember laying in my bed later that day, just my body was just twitching. And that was probably pretty extreme, but I'm glad I did it. And it was funny because my friend Tim came over and he's like, dude, a group of us are going snowboarding. You need to come snowboarding with us. Because while I was on the medications, I was freaking weird. My personality went out the window and I just became weird. And he was like, I'm sick of you being like this. You're coming snowboarding with us. You're not staying home. And I got up from my bed and I was just like, you know what? You're right. Let's freaking go snowboarding. And that was the best snowboarding trip of my life. I'll never forget how free and amazing it felt to get on the mountain and just let my energy just burst out. It's like it was being suppressed on the drugs all the time. So it was like the most amazing freeing feeling I ever had. Now, I don't know if any of you can relate to this, and I know there's some people who take medications and it has a positive impact for you. I have family members that do, and by all means, do what's best for you. This is just my story. And I will inject some of my own beliefs into this near the end. But So I remember how liberating and amazing that felt. It felt like I was back to my old self before I was on the medications. And I really just ate that moment. That was the best snowboarding trip I ever had. And so from there, though, I did recognize that I was struggling still. There was something going on. It made me aware I definitely need to figure this out. And so I took small doses of Ritalin and lowered it. And I still didn't like it. I didn't like the way it made me feel and the side effects. And so I started just drinking like energy drinks that are sugar free. So it was just like a lot of the caffeine. And that helped a little bit, but I don't like the side effects of caffeine or any kind of a stimulant. And so I did a lot of research and I'm like, there's gotta be a better way to do this. And so I found some herbal supplements. One in particular that I felt like God led me to was called Go-To Cola. It's GOTU KOLA, Go-To Cola, 2 separate words. I took that and it was, oh my gosh, so much better than any of the drugs I had taken that I was prescribed. It gave me a nice calming effect and it didn't have the nasty side effects. I really liked the Go-To Cola. For me personally, it really helped a lot. And that was kind of a game changer for me. It opened my mind to thinking I knew that there was a different way to handle this. From there, though, I really wanted to start taking matters into my own hands. I really didn't feel like there was something wrong with me. Like there wasn't a disorder. There was just like anxiety or something going on that I just needed to correct. And so I started learning how to meditate. And meditating, I would say, is the most powerful thing that I have ever done for my ADHD diagnosis. When I was meditating, I learned how to feel like my chi energy, like the energy in my body. And I could tell I had a lot of energy in my body that just wants to be expressed. And meditating taught me how to feel that energy, how to harness it, how to tame it, and use it in constructive ways. Whereas before I didn't know how. It was just hard to contain so much energy. It's like I'm a nuclear power plant all just confined into this tiny little body of mine. And I didn't know how to manage all that energy. Meditating taught me how to have an awareness, how to take that energy and mold it and use it in these constructive ways, and how to focus it like a laser beam. And so talk about powerful. During that time, I remember one evening drinking some sleepy time tea. I really, really used to enjoy drinking all kinds of different teas. And I remember this sleepy time tea I took. I love the flavor. It was great. And it really kind of helped calm you down. And I was like, man, I really like the way this sleepy time tea makes me feel. So I looked at the ingredients and I noticed one of the ingredients was Eleuthera root. And so I looked into that. And so I started taking Eleuthera root because it's supposed to have positive benefits for anxiety and ADHD as well. So I took this Eleuthera root for a while and it also had a really good effect. A little bit different than the Go-To Cola, but a very nice calming effect. And it was fantastic. But in time, over the months, I got to where I didn't need anything anymore. Learning how to meditate is what really did the trick for me. I will also say, during that time, I practiced reading. Before, when I would read, I would forget like if I read a page, I would read through the page and then I would forget what I read. And it was really frustrating. I couldn't focus, before when it came to reading. I just wasn't interested. I didn't care about it. But so I started deciding to practice to read. And you have to think about it like going to the gym. If you're completely out of shape and you've never been to the gym and you go to the gym for the first time, you're not going to be pumping huge iron. You're not going to be running a mile or two. You're going to run maybe like a quarter a mile or a half a mile and you're going to walk the rest of it. You're going to, put up light weight. You're going to get your body conditioned and used to it. And it's going to take time. It's the same for our minds. We can train our minds. We can take our mind to the gym. And in my case, and in my opinion, the 2 most powerful things a person can do for your mind is to meditate and read. And I would recommend reading books that are educational, maybe uplifting books that are self-help books, books just on how the universe works, spiritual books, maybe reading scriptures of whatever your religion may be. Just take time to read things that are beneficial for your being, not fantasy novel books or anything. I mean, that can be fun. There's nothing wrong with reading those types of books. But I would recommend reading books that are actually beneficial for helping you become a better person. And so I would sit down and I would read like a page a day. And I would think, okay, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to read this page, and I'm going to comprehend what I read as best as I can, and I'm going to focus. The meditating really got me in a good place where I was able to start doing that. And I would practice on a daily basis until where, I mean, now, if I want, I can go sit down and read for an hour or two if I really want to and have no problems focusing. I'll comprehend everything. It's great. I love it. I can focus now better than I have ever been able to focus. I have multiple different streams of income that I use this energy to focus into these different streams, and I take care of my kids. I'm a single dad. I manage the house. And so really the ADHD energy for me is now a huge blessing because I have more energy than the average person, but through meditating, I learned how to focus that energy and use it in productive ways. I mean, like today, I've done so much today, and every day is so productive. I take care of the house. I run my businesses. I take care of my kids when they're with me. I do everything. And so really, I look at it as a gift, and I don't even think of it as ADHD. I don't like the label. I don't like what they try to make it. And to me, it's just kind of anxiety that a person needs to figure out how to overcome and take all that energy and just harness it, focus it, and use it constructively. I don't think there's anything wrong with anybody that has ADHD. I think this is just my personal opinion and my belief that your ADHD is really just a mindset. And our minds are very malleable. We can take our mind to the gym and we can shape it and shift it any way we desire. But it will take dedication and it will take consistency and a desire to make that happen. If you don't have a desire, you're not going to do it. If you have the desire, but you're not using that desire in constructive activities like reading and meditating, you're not going to get anywhere. If you're not consistent in doing it on a regular basis, you're not going to get anywhere. You can't go to the gym once and expect to be jacked. It takes time, dedication, and learning the techniques, and you get better and better as time goes on. It's the same with training our minds. You're perfect just the way you are. There's nothing wrong with you. And the last thing I really want to touch on with that is, I don't know if you can relate, if you're somebody who has been diagnosed with ADHD, but if I'm not interested in something, I don't care about it. And I'm not going to want to put time into it. When we're in school and we're little kids, especially a lot of boys who have just exploding with all this energy, and they're making you sit down and do all these desk activities that you have no interest in, of course you're not going to focus. Think about it as an adult. Do you want to go to your work and focus on crap you don't want to focus on? No, nobody wants to do that. And so if I'm at school and I'm not interested in the activities that are being presented, especially as a kid, and they go, oh, you don't focus on this, you must have some sort of a mental disorder, and they diagnose you with ADHD and throw you on drugs. It's messed up. Everyone has talents and abilities and gifts that all make the world go round. So my theology is find what makes your heart sing. Find your passion. Do things that you're interested in. Especially if you have an ADHD diagnosis, you're probably like I am, this huge powerhouse of energy. You just need to learn to focus it. Don't waste that energy on time that you don't give a crap about. Obviously, you have responsibilities. I got to take care of the house. I got to clean the kitchen and do the dishes. And no, mow the lawn. I mowed the lawn today. We got to do those little things. But when you know where you're going and you're focused and the good chunk of your time is being used towards things that you're passionate about and that you care about, that you want to be participating in, you're going to feel so much better. That energy is going to be so much more focused. Nobody wants to spend their entire life trying to do things that you're not interested in. Not to mention, God doesn't want you to do that either. He gave you special talents and special abilities that will make the world a better place if you find that passion and present it to the world. Everybody is unique, and you are unique, and you are perfect just the way you are. Sure, we've got stuff to overcome. We've got past traumas. We've got anxieties. We've got things we're working through. Love yourself. You are worthy. You are a good person. You have God living within you. You're fine just the way you are. Who cares what what mankind says about you? Oh, you don't like to do math, you must have a problem. Oh, you don't like reading this book, To Kill a Mockingbird, you must have a problem. No, I just don't freaking care about your stupid book that has nothing to do with me. I want to go read this book that's going to teach me how to be a successful entrepreneur. I want to go play this game or this sport or do this activity. If you're not interested, don't spend your time doing it. Now, I am not a medical professional. I am just a dude. And there's lots of good information out there, and I'm sure the medical community is helping a lot of people. And like I said, if you're taking meds, do your thing. But most importantly, I have noticed almost I would say every single person I've ever met with a diagnosis of mental disorder, they have negative views about themselves. They don't think they're worthy. They think there's something wrong with them. There's always some negative thing. And there's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. You are perfect just the way you are. You are whole. And like I said, God is expressing himself through you. So be you, 100% authentic you. Those are my opinions. Those are my beliefs. I hope this can help you and resonate. Be careful though. If you're taking meds, don't just jump off meds. I don't want anyone getting hurt because they watched my video. I want to make the world a better place with this video. This is what I did, and it's worked for me. Be careful with what you're doing. Take things a little at a time, like I did. If you want to try some of the herbal supplements that I took, give them a try. I took Go-To Cola, and I took the Eleuthera root. Those are the main ones that I took. The nice thing about ADHD meds is they're quick release. So they're in and out. So it can be easy to deal with. But if you have, depression or severe bipolar of any type, you're taking mood stabilizer, borderline schizophrenia, you're going to want to be very careful with yourself. Take your meds, be wise. But while you're taking your meds, you can start doing positive affirmations. You can start affirming who you are, that you are a child of God, that you are important, that you are perfect just the way you are, and there's nothing wrong with you. You can start saying those affirmations that I'm perfect and I am whole. I am a good person. I love myself. You are a good person. And I love you. Hey guys, I hope this video has been beneficial for you, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe, hit the thumbs up, be safe out there, and make good choices. Peace.